their show and their podcast, and they're just all the nicest people in the world, and they have a massive wealth of knowledge. Please ask questions, otherwise it's more fun, it's more engaging, make it interactive. He's going to have a lot of knowledge to share. So if you want to ask a question, no question too silly. They are all anonymous. Over to you with what the bleep is normal. Thanks, buddy.
What the fuck is normal? I'm told by some of the folks that work with me that the F word is acceptable nowadays. Go ahead. In England. So, you know, what the bleep, just to be politically correct, but what the fuck is normal is really, I messed up and disconnected myself. So, okay. So real briefly, again, if you're out there virtually, hello from the U.S. or to the U.S. If you're out there virtually or even in Sweden, please, 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 here, live, and virtually there, please, please send in those questions, because it's all about the questions. It's all about the engagement. One of the things that we've heard the most over recent years is engage, engage, engage. So, sorry, I don't know where I stopped. It's my fault. So who am I? Don't worry about it, man. It's all good. Let's see, where was I? Again, I'm Ellis Davis. I come from California originally, but now I reside in Sweden. I'm with a company called Endless Events. We're the bright green people. And what brings me here today is, over the last few years, I've quite frankly grown really tired of hearing the word normal. Can't wait for the new normal. When's it going to get back to normal? What the hell is normal? Normal this, normal that. And it dawns on me that this is a perfect opportunity to come give you my philosophy on what normal is. Quite frankly, normal is whatever the hell you want it to be. So I wanted to make a few points on that. And yeah, let me take a peek at it real quick. So while you're out there, friends, chime in and let me know where y'all from. Everybody from the UK? Yeah? Yeah? Yes? No? Where are you from? South Africa. South Africa. Good on you. Oh, that's a little bit further. Never mind. I have quite a few friends in South Africa. Ekkeslifrio. That's all I got. Kitchen Dutch. That's the only thing I ever learned about South Africa. So UK, and South Africa. And we're trying to make my presentation stop here real quick. Boom! There we go. And that way we can get the presentation going. If it doesn't get going, it's not terribly important. I can absolutely positively present. I can absolutely positively just present from here. So I'll look at this for notes, and we'll just go from there. Yeah? So what the fuck is normal? What the bleep is normal? We mentioned that it's whatever you want it to be, but technically speaking, according to the Oxford Dictionary of the English language, normal is, in adjective form, conforming to a standard, usual, typical, or expected. Used as a noun then, it's the usual, typical, or expected state or condition. Her temperature was above normal, right? So who wants to be normal? At Endless, we talk about not wanting to just think outside of the box. We talk about crushing the box, or better yet, no box at all. I don't want to be normal. Anybody else want to be normal? So we're going to forget the whole notion of getting back to normal, because this last few years, this forced change or life choice point has been an absolute blessing. It hurt for a while, of course, but some of the greatest gains are made through some of the most sincere and profound pains, right? So here then are a few things that we've learned thus far over the last few years, yeah? Stand by. La, 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 da, da. Yeah, there we go. few things we've learned over the recent years. I'm back on track. I wish you could see this. It's kind of sexy. Perception of sincerity is affected most by nonverbal cues. So for those of us that are wondering why I can't get through to my online audience, why I can't keep them engaged, that's the reason. They're seeing this, yeah? They're not seeing this. Does anyone want to take a guess at what portion of communication is actual words? Anyone? 30 to 40%. 30. You with that one? Down with that one? Online viewers, what portion of communication is the actual words spoken? Would you believe it's 7%? 7% is the actual words. Everything else is all here, right? 38% is inflection, volume, tone, body language. 55% is facial expressions, right? Now we can catch that on Zoom if we're okay with the person not looking us in the eyes, right? Micro expressions, facial expressions make up 55% of communication. It's a kind of a tough nut to deal with when we're talking about the hybrid world and or the virtual world, right? I'll try to keep the next few facts as positive as possible, but I'm going to include them because they're so incredibly relevant. Isolation and solitude has serious implications on mental, psychological, physiological, and emotional health. Yeah? We've all kind of learned this over the last few years. The medical journal called The Lancet recently published an article from which a clear and alarming picture emerges. Periods of isolation, even less than 10 days, can have long-term effects with the presence up to 3 years of psychiatric symptoms, right? As the Greek philosopher Aristotle reminds us, man is a social animal, unable to live isolated from others, since the absence of relationships removes the essential conditions for which development in personal identity and the exercise of reason. In short, we're meant to be in person. We're meant to be with one another. And hats off to Event Tech Live for taking care of that here in London. It's pretty damn exciting, right? Furthermore, in accordance with current regulations, we have begun to behave, this one's really alarming, begun to behave as if other people are potentially dangerous for our health or the health of our loved ones. This turn of events has cultivated a new universal belief based on vulnerability to harm, whereby proximity to fellow human beings poses a direct threat. Ugh. And we're going to see a lot more of this coming out over the next couple of years as we emerge out of this. There's a lot more on this topic, but you get the gist of it. We have learned from this large obstacle to our world and industry just how important meeting in person, just how important and crucial the meetings and events industry really is. How vital it is to our social interaction, how vital it is to our world, most importantly, how vital it is to humanity. We play a big part in that, in this industry. Meeting in person, shaking hands, sealing a deal with a handshake, yeah? Imagine that. Now we're doing it with blips, bleep, which is pretty damn cool, by the way, I gotta say. So, moving on then. What else have we learned? A few quick bullet points for you. We've learned that it is possible to attend all company meetings without pants. Something we couldn't do before. We've also learned that what we thought our pets were doing while we were away at the office wasn't in fact what they were doing, right? We know what they're up to nowadays. We've learned how to make it appear as though we're looking someone in the eyes. We've learned that people will not read anything if the stated read time is over 3 minutes. Ouch. We have learned that both virtual attendees and live attendees have a shorter attention span as well. We have learned that at the 3-minute mark, if you lose a virtual attendee, are you all still out there? You've lost them for good. They won't re-engage, right? We have learned how to saturate the market with 1 million startups claiming to be the best hybrid solution. There's quite a few of them here today, and these guys are all the creme de la creme, fortunately, right? We've learned that our single-digit children pay better attention than we do, have a longer attention span than we do. The Orlando Sentinel newspaper back in Florida recently published an article, and within that article was a study. That study suggests that the average adult attention span is now 8 seconds long. The average attention span of a goldfish, you can look this up, is 9 seconds. Our phones, our connectivity, technology, this pandemic craziness has given us an attention span that's shorter than a freaking goldfish. I love that one. We've also learned how to take advantage of these obstacles, how to learn and grow, something deeply ingrained in all of us over at Endless. How to learn and grow. We have learned how valuable hybrid can be, how much broader and far-reaching an audience can be. 2 years ago, we hosted an event for 1,000. Today, we host an event for 5,000 scattered all over the planet. This event being a fantastic example. Yeah? We have learned how to use analytics to benefit our events financially, and more importantly, to increase guest and attendee satisfaction. We have learned how gamification can bring out the little kid in all of us and help extend that attention span problem that we have as adults. We have learned that streaming, what we once called video conferencing, is here to stay and offers amazing opportunities. Permanent part of the event landscape for sure. So how do we best leverage all that we have gained while diminishing all that we have lost? Well, first of all, we realize that acting upon the idea of, or better put, first of all, we need to all realize that normal is just a subjective construct, right? When I began in the events industry, 23 years ago, I know I look younger, right? When I began in the event industry, normal was an overhead projector. Normal was a super bright overhead projector with 2 pieces of glass and an interface for a computer called an LCD panel that sat on top of that projector. Normal was 35 millimeter projectors that went with small little slides that went in upside down and backwards. And if you really wanted to have a sexy show, you put like 100 of them on stackers behind the screen, and you could not walk backstage, and you had to have the music and the volume really super loud because it was like, that was normal. Normal was living in a cave without the advantage of the wheel, or without the heat of fire, or without tools to go out hunting. That's normal, right? Normal is a construct. It's a subjective construct. Whatever normal is for you is what normal is. Second of all, we need to think so far out of the box that what we're creating, normal, writing, we need to think so far out of the box that what we're creating, though normal, is actually writing both the future and the past in this very moment, and for the broadest audience, the most far-reaching audience we've ever had the advantage of reaching. That's normal. We need to appeal to all of the senses. You hear all the time that we want to make it experiential, right? What is experiential? What is experience? Well, an experience is something more than here and here. A true experience is here and here and here, tactile. Y'all have a favorite song that when you hear it, it takes you back to your high school days, right? Takes you back to that first date, that first love, the sound, or a scent. You smell a certain scent in the air and it reminds you of your grandmother's house. my grandmother's cookies. Here and here are the two most profound senses we have. So creating events that talk to all of the senses or communicate to all of these senses, that's really what an experience is about. Well, you remember what this warehouse smells like when you leave? Yeah? Yeah, you will. Yeah. You remember how freaking cold you were? Absolutely. So appealing to all the senses, not just sight and sound, but all the senses. This is what experience is. This is what breaks down the limits to attention and engagement. This is what creates a memory that you can taste and smell, hear and see, and a moment that you can touch. Yeah? How best do we leverage all that we have gained and diminish what we have lost? Well, AR, VR, augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality. Oh God, there's some sexy stuff coming out with mixed reality right now. You want to have a bird fly through the room and land on your shoulder? We can do that. There's a couple booths here, one right over there that's doing this kind of thing right now. It's amazing. So AR, VR, mixed reality, 3D projection, bringing remote attendees on stage from across the planet. Can you imagine that? Again, I'm in Sweden, and this past year for Swedish Idol, they had a monster LED wall divided up into about 100 different sections. And as a contestant was singing, his or her parents were standing right on stage with her. What? So cool. So different than a 35mm projector backstage going clackety, clackety, clack, and it's not slowing down. This is how you engage. This is how you engage. You look in the camera, you say hi, you pull people in, you make them part of the fun. I'm hoping that the Glisser app is actually seeing some of that fun from our remote attendees. Anything yet, sir? Yeah? Okay. And I'm seeing a lot of heads nodding out there, so thank you. Speaking of... Perfect. Nice. Yeah, you know, it's the philosophical. I also teach yoga on the side, so the esoteric side of life is really deeply ingrained into me. And yeah, it's all about, put it this way, the Stoics, the great Stoics of ancient Greece, the philosophers, they believed firmly that an obstacle, an obstruction, a pain actually presents greater opportunity for learning. It's true. If you think back, the most painful moments in your life are actually the moments that taught you the most, right? Yeah. Ease doesn't deliver anything to you. It's the obstacles that do. So when you see an obstacle, like the one we've been through over the last few years, learn from it. Take advantage of it. Leverage it. Because this is a choice point, and we've graduated just about from said choice point, and the future is really, really exciting. I was going to mention that in terms of augmented reality, in Sweden right now, has everybody heard of the band ABBA? Right? ABBA is performing live for the first time in over 40 years in Sweden right now, using what they're calling avatars. Have you seen this? It's amazing. They're also doing an international tour using their avatars. They got dressed up in fun little, I don't even know what they're called, the green screen outfits with the blips on all the important joints, yeah? They got dressed up in that and created this entire concert with ABBA after 40 years. That's the future. Yeah. So there is so much magic. I'm doing really well on time. Look at that. There's so much magic and amazement in our future, friends. There really is. And I, for one, am stoked that we've had the opportunity to create the future for our industry. Thank you, folks, for being here. I thank you, virtual attendees, for being here. We've got 10 minutes to address questions, and I hope to God we've got some questions from our friends here live. Go. You spoke too soon, did you?
Well, they're just comments. Oh, here we go. No, there's a couple. Someone said, I didn't catch what you just said. My phone distracted me. Ellis talking about short attention spans when I'm checking my Twitter means something. You're just getting heckled on here, mate.
Yeah. That must be my team.
Never know when you'll need to answer the doorbell. No, but we have a question here. What role do you think tech can play in reversing the notion that people should be afraid of human contact or physical closeness? That's a good question.
It's a great question. What role can tech play in reversing the notion that we should be afraid of one another?
Yeah.
So my initial response to that is something I communicate to my team and folks that I chat with online. One of the things you can do is look right into the camera as though you're looking someone in the eyes. What that does, believe it or not, it's either going to creep people out, my God, is he looking at me? Or it's going to increase psychological safety. And once we have psychological safety, then those walls start to drop a little. I think that if tech considers and designs itself around the idea that we need to make it safe for people to meet in person and considers that every step of the way, it would help.
Yeah. And I think what would be nice is if the cameras were now somehow in the middle of the screen. So which I think is going to happen.
I've said that so many times.
Yeah. And
it moves with you.
Yeah, just so you can look the person in the eye and you can see them. My friend, most cameras are up here on my book. Yeah, his is there, and I had to borrow his laptop the other day, and it was so disarming because you're just having to look. It was someone needs to figure that out.
Yeah,
I'll leave that with you.
I noticed the shot earlier over here, and for everyone at home, I've got a piece of truss growing out of the top of my head. So it's indeed all about creating the proper camera angle.
Yeah.
Does it bug y'all when you're looking at somebody on a Zoom call or any implementation call or any platform call, and they're looking like this because they want to watch you? It does, right? So, I don't know. Tech, let's make it user-friendly, make people feel as though they're closer, and engage. Pretend that camera is actually someone's eyes and engage.
Someone just agrees with you that people need to feel safe.
Yeah.
But that's kind of it. Someone got a question out there. A real human question. I like just the notion of what you're saying, and it reminds me, and I know you're American, of the Make America Great thing. Like, when was great? And why are we constantly comparing everything to everything?
Yeah.
Why just be now?
Don't get me started there.
Okay. Maybe we shouldn't go down there.
America. Yeah, no. Great is subjective as well. For sure. We've got to have one question out there. Yeah?
What's a piece of technology that you've seen or Endless has created or hasn't that you've witnessed in the last 12 months that, like that Swedish Idol example where you were just like,
amazed.
Wow, this really blends, solves both problems, brings people together in a digital way.
Mixed reality.
I don't think I'd ever heard of that.
Mixed reality. Yeah. So, trying to think of a Google search term that you can use. You could easily type mixed reality and come up with a few good video hits.
This is with a VR headset?
This is with phones.
Oh, I see.
Or a VR headset. If you can imagine I'll use it in British terms. If you can imagine a football stadium.
Yep.
And I don't know, because I like the Tottenham Hotspurs. If you imagine the Hotspurs coming out onto the field and a giant spur or a giant chicken with spurs on it comes dancing across the arena.
Right.
If you're looking at your phone, oh my God, there's a huge chicken in the arena. That's mixed reality.
Okay.
And that was quite loud. I apologize.
But and it looks real?
It does look real. When we get to the point where we don't need the phone.
Yeah. That'll be what? Google glasses or smart glasses or something?
Or smart glasses, or something that we can project upon that no one can see. They're playing with it. They're playing with it.
Awesome. Okay, there's another question. Sorry, one sec.
I get the feeling that some of these comments are coming from our team back in the States.
Is Will watching?
Gosh, he better not be.
Okay.
He better not be. It's like probably 3 a.m. for him.
Is it bad to feel the need to stick the word normal? Is it bad to feel the need to stick to the word normal? Because somehow as a human being, I want things to be normal again.
Yeah. What is normal again? So is it bad? No. No, of course not.
No.
Of course not. You can stick to whatever makes you happy, whatever floats your boat. I'll go back a little bit further. Normal, in its Greek origins, is linked to a square.
Right.
So once upon a time, the word normal meant conforming to a standard, a 90-degree square, a perfect measurement. So once upon a time, normal wasn't as subjective as it is today. Normal actually had a scientific base.
Okay.
So you can stick to normal all
and I
you
think
want.
in people's defense, yes, the world is constantly changing, but this is the first time in however long where we can't freely travel and we can't... Like, things change very quickly. And I think when people want to go back to normal, they maybe just mean, I want to be able to travel. I want to see my family. Like, things that are normal.
Right. Normal.
Things that were nice 2 years ago that just vanished.
You are okay to stick to normal. I myself am looking for opportunities to be abnormal. Like standing on stage like this, for instance.
I think Sia does that, the singer.
Yeah, yeah.
Now they're coming in hard and fast. Hold up. Sorry, the Wi-Fi. Here we go. Can we use tech to advocate for human connectivity and closeness as a type of safety?
Can we use tech
to advocate?
This is definitely coming from my team. I love you guys. Can we use tech to advocate for, one more time?
To advocate for human connectivity and closeness as a type of safety. I assume that, I mean, like, so you're connected when you're walking home, but someone knows where you are, or that kind of...
I think there's already hundreds of dating apps out there that qualify as tech and fit the bill there, right?
Yeah.
So, of course you can. Of course you can. An opportunity, you know, we talk about big monster tech. I'm not going to mention the two biggest ones, one of which recently changed its name. That's all I'm going to say. And as we get away from those, because we clearly are, and we head towards a community model where, I don't know, you have an ETL 21 app and you have all your friends and you all have something in common and you're all here for the exact same reason. That's a really kick-ass community. So therein lies the connectivity and the safety that we're looking for.
And tech's done a great job of creating a sense of community. Like, you would never have got in someone else's car or stayed in someone else's apartment or let someone stay in yours without thinking they're going to steal your stuff. But because there's ratings and because
It's true.
Airbnb provides those that sense of community and they're not wanting to do the wrong thing by someone or that sense of trust, because if you do, that will live in your profile forever.
Right.
And it's a shame that that's the reason people have to do the right thing, but...
keeping us straight and holding us accountable.
Yeah, exactly. No. All right, we've got time for one more question. Here we go. Clarification on safety. I mean psychological health. So advocating for human connectivity and closeness as a type of safety in that sense. Using tech to advocate for, better psychological health.
Yeah, to your point, if you're jumping into an Uber or you're receiving food from a little robot or... and there are any number of ways that tech is making things easier for us while also offering accountability that leaves us feeling psychologically safe. I would not have jumped in a car 10 years ago to take a ride with a complete stranger in a million years. Actually, I might have, because, but today I feel comfortable. Yeah. So, psychological safety's there.
It's interesting stuff. Thank you, Ellis. Thank you. Ellis, everyone, thank you so much, man.
Thank you all. Appreciate you.
Are you sticking around?
I am.
Okay.
I'm going to go visit Pete.
Look for the guy in the green T-shirt if you want to chat for more. We're back in 15 minutes. I'm interviewing an amazing guy called Kashif who runs One World Rental. And he's going to talk to us about all kinds of technological hardware and software that can make your event run more smoothly.